The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast. Yeah, I don't even. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah. Just here?
I'm here. I'm gonna say just here,
Mm.
but I'm pretty good. I think considering all things,
Mm.
you know, playing with Easy E, I always cheer you up. That little smile, it always reminds you what you do it for.
Mm-hmm.
It always reminds you that you need to be around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always good. Just when I see her, it's always good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different type of feeling. Like getting lost yesterday in the kitchen dancing with her.
Mm.
Lost. I might have been dancing to them. I think I was. And just hugged up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A reminder of my duties and why I'm put on this earth.
Mm.
We talk about it all the time. I do procreation. So I got a job ahead of me. Make sure that thing I created is better.
Mm.
Better than me, better than her mama. Hopefully better than the people around her. So she can be in semblance of her daddy. Be a rock. Hold it down.
Mm.
So
P.O.P.
P.O.P.
Hold it down. Pimp down. Hold it down. Pimp Squad for life. My name Donna Goodo. Hey man, how quick we forget, man. Shout out to Pimp Squad. Hold it down.
Man.
Donna Goodo.
Pimp down. Cold blue. And Cat Williams. Pimp down.
Donna. Yeah, man.
Oh man. Man, how you feeling though?
Oh man, that's a question that as a person, I don't it's the reason why we always just say I'm cool. You know? So I'm cool.
Hey, say less.
Yeah, I'm cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll dive into that off camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
We ain't at the male vulnerability stage of our podcast yet. And y'all ain't ready. It's bigger than that, but it's
just some things just ain't.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Nah, like
Mm-hmm.
people ask that question. So we'll just throw this out there, right? Do me a favor. Anybody that's listening to this podcast, that listen to this, if you ask somebody how they're doing, don't ask them that on a surface level. If you ask that question, truly ask it or don't ask it at all.
All right. I think it's a trick to it. So when you do ask, I'd like to ask that after I've actually given an embrace.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, are you good? Yeah, I'm like, no. And I squeeze them again. Like, how are you feeling?
Mm-hmm.
And make sure they feel me so they understand that I'm really trying to get, if I'm in that space, I'm trying to get an answer. Because more than likely, I already know you're not feeling the best. And if you need to unload, I'm basically saying I'm allowing you that space. You can let that shit off. I'm good.
For sure.
So that's usually that's how you really know. I'm like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Not for sure. I'm saying for most people, like you are a person who curates and creates spaces for people. We didn't talked about this before. So you're a space maker. Like I said, I don't like the word safe spaces. You create open spaces for people to be and express themselves. That's one thing you do. But for the average person who goes about and they see somebody and they ask them how they're doing, they're only asking on a surface level. And if you responded with any depth of truth, they would not be ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
So for the average listener that's listening to this podcast, don't ask that question if you're not making space for that response.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think we need to figure out other things to say, like, hey, hope your day's getting better. I hope I made you, even if I hope seeing you made me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Just giving that quick compliment. Mm-hmm. Don't ask seeing you made me feel better, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that even hit into their confidence, just knowing that somebody even if it's superficial, it's always good to let somebody know you made them better. It always feels good, looks good. Even when you looking shitty, it's good when you get a girl. You're cute. Nice with your cute ass. Even you just say that, no, don't talk to me like that, but they like it. It's any compliment. So I think we should, and that's something we need to work on as people, man. Get back in the compliment. We so quick to be so judgmental and cut a nigga up. Like, compliment somebody, like just for no reason. It's a whole viral video going around where somebody just riding around like, hey. And then they'll just give a person out the window a compliment. They be lighting up. Like, I love your eyes, man. And dude out here working, I'm like, man, thank you, man. But it's just that, man. You don't know what kind of day nobody having. And especially if you are somebody who you may not be in a space to where you can handle somebody's truth. Just give them a quick, hey, man, hey, you made me feel better by seeing you, bro. It's good to see you. Have a good one. Instead of asking how we doing off repetition. Let's get repetitive in our compliments and mean them. Go in with the mindset, I'm glad I'm here to be able to tell you this for real. We tell them all the time, just happy to see y'all.
Man, for real.
Like, I don't know if y'all understand that, man. I'm old. You getting old?
Shit, I know I'm getting old. I asked one of my students how old I looked the other day, and this nigga said 30 something. I said, oh shit. I said, I know I'm getting old. It was an age older than my actual age. I said, oh shit. I said, oh nigga.
Nah,
I gotta stop frowning.
That's that balding, you know what I'm saying?
Shit, hey nigga, I keep a cap on. Nigga, I be out here thugging. I be thugged out at the schools.
We know why you got that hat on.
Shit, hey.
Same reason you got that weave on.
That
Shut
part.
up.
Shit. We out here. I mean, shit, it was a couple times I came bald. Young guy them know I come bald. It ain't
nothing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing I had to embrace at 19 when I made the decision. It's like you had to embrace it. Hey, like, you know, I just feel protected when I got on my hoodie and my hat. Feel protected.
Yeah, man. It's a level of concealment. You know, even just yourself. I remember watching Auburn Priest talk about it, just having shades on. It keeps you from being able to make eye contact. So if you're in a space where you're not really trying to talk and engage, it helps you keep a blinders on. And most people don't say nothing to you when you do. You shade it up. So you're not, you know what I'm saying, in that space. So these things, you know, they're self-preserving. And sometimes it's needed. Put that hoodie on and go on about your day.
Man.
Especially you're a black man. They'll definitely leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Again, it's good to be here. Sound like we finna in church.
Man.
Just look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you that nigga.
You that nigga. Can the church get an amen? Amen.
Cause God.
Oh man.
Let me try.
Hey, I'm about to say you let us stop because I did just start reading the Bible for myself. And it did say that the Lord don't take kindly to those who joketh on his name. I know it didn't say that, but that's what I inferred.
I don't joke because the spirit of mess around come up in there. Some spirit,
shit, it's already coming.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, yeah, just be mindful of what spirit, but you know, wherever, you know, there's 2 or 3 of his people, and we got 4 of them in here right now. Wherever his people is gathered, he's amongst. So it's gonna always amplify, man. So,
yes, sir.
All right, man. Let's
go
ahead and, man. I think we're about ready to start getting started. How much time we've been spending already? 20 minutes.
It don't matter.
17 getting started. Okay, cool, man. I think we about warmed up now.
A little bit.
Oh, look, let me get another swig of water. I think we almost warmed up.
Yeah, we in here. It is the Streets A&R Podcast. I swear to y'all, we got drops. I swear, kinda. But yeah, we ain't got no proof of it.
No, shit. I'm just waiting. Shit, got one song I use my drop on. One song. Shit, man. LP recorded it. Good. Shout out to LP, man. Like Paul.
Man, if you want us to get our drops, man, get us to 50 subscribers on YouTube. Man. We'll put our drops down.
Man, dude.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. We are growing though.
We are growing.
I watch it. We are growing.
We growing. I'm seeing the support from key people. I'm seeing the Instagram getting some support.
Hey, man, Instagram, like, we getting a lot of likes.
Yeah.
We got a couple bots.
Yeah.
And we got a couple I don't know. Maybe it's LP's picture.
Yeah.
But we got some things that like the picture.
Oh yeah. Couple things.
Couple things unlike the pod.
Yeah, they didn't like the pod.
So we gonna bring LP back every week. And
he already called. He was like, yeah, I want to be a guest. Man, y'all got guest hosts. He like, man, what about when you need to go out? I said, okay, LP. Shit, holla at E.
Yeah.
I told him to holla at you, man.
If we need to, we will. Look at him.
Man.
That's how it's growing, but that's how we going. So we'll get the drops as soon as y'all get us to 50 subscribers so we can say, look what y'all did. We done leveled up.
Shit, we still ain't afforded that P yet.
Just listen, that's at 100 and that's at 250.
Man.
P's expensive. Inflation is up.
Shh.
Inflation up, egos inflated, booties inflated.
Oh man,
everything inflated.
Oh man, man, you ain't lying about the booties.
So we could have went that direction. Hey, wait. Oh man, and it's coming out before Valentine's Day.
Yeah, man, because it's just heartbreaking, man. I'm seeing girls I know that don't need a little Brazilian. They don't need it, man, and they want it, man. It's like you don't even need it. What you want it for?
Are we going here?
No, we ain't got started yet, man. We gonna stay on topic. So we gonna try to keep the top. I'm just talking right now. We just still going. We ain't got started yet, man. We ain't even introduced ourselves. That's how I know we ain't got started yet.
Who cares? They gonna be on the bottom of the screen. We up.
Shit. But yeah, no, I don't want to be on there talking about that shit. But no, I mean, because at the end of the day, it's her body, it's her choice. But just as an appreciator of all things natural and like, you know, like I truly appreciate if one titty is slightly smaller than the other, that let me know it's real. Like I have dealt with some things. I ain't even gonna speak on it. That's why this can't be recorded. You know, so I want to talk about intricacies.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Check us out on Patreon.
Man,
we gonna get us a
all right, man.
We gonna get us a Patreon just for that episode. We gonna have to get us like a Patreon or something. Mm-hmm. We might go to OnlyFans, see if they still trying to make the switch. And go on and get busy on there because we get that. We telling. We got to do that.
I tell stories in a way where all identities is protected. I don't kiss and tell. Shit, I ain't kissed in so long. I don't know what a kiss is. So I don't kiss and
nothing to tell.
I don't got shit to tell at all. All right, man.
All minds are in retrospect. If I talk like present tense, that's only for that to make the story more dynamic. It's all past tense.
Past tense. He said he's happily married.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't exercising that option that they be talking about. I got a baby. I ain't trying to exercise that option. Even if I could. No, I got to build right now. I got things to build on.
Man, that's important.
And it ain't about what and whose choice it is. It's always comes down to the why. Do we truly know why we make all these decisions? What we influenced by? Inception. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think you hitting on something there, man. I think that's it, man. Inception.
Hey, that's one of the conception code. It's just one of those code movies that people didn't even understand. They were still worrying about if he was in a dream state or a real state.
Same.
At the end of the movie.
Same. I still got to go back and rewatch it. I was a kid when that movie came out.
It was a while ago.
That was what, 2009, 10? Inception?
Yeah, I was
2008.
Maybe, yeah, probably around 7 or 8, I think.
Maybe it was 2007. I was 15. Yeah,
I was adult. I was in college. I was sticking and moving. Football.
Yeah, man.
But even going into our conversation, Inception, conversation, you know, this is something we often have had discourse about. And being on camera, we won't get into some of the intricacies, but there's still overarching issues that we typically scape over as a society. When we talk about music, we understand frequencies, we understand content, we understand propaganda. But do we understand the magnitude of which is being done? And do we understand how that's kind of affecting us. And when I say us, not necessarily people that the music speaks to, but everybody around it. Do we perpetuate and do we propagate something that we say we care about, or are we ignorant too, or just pretend to be? You know what I'm saying? That's what I really want to get to. So me and Johnny, we talked, and for those of you who don't know, I know I'm a big guy with locks, but I am not from the streets, right? I got homies from the streets. Back home, Tyler wasn't really a big, like real gang place. It's hood, but it's not like, so I tell people all the time, like, I think us being a dry county, when dry means there was no alcohol, you couldn't go buy alcohol unless you had a bar in the county. So you had to go to the line. That's what we called it, the county line. So one of the, basically is 2 quicker ways to get to the line, to go get your liquor. Then you can bring it back across the county line. It was like that all up until like literally maybe 5-6 years ago. Been dry until then. And I say that because I think that always goes into, especially in urban communities, when that liquor is present, you have more issues that are exacerbated. They're magnified in communities where liquor is present. And Tyler was not a place. Tyler's a small town, big town, small city. I'll say that, big town, small city. Probably about 100,000. Big time sports place, real homegrown. Everybody know everybody cousins. Even though it's 100,000 people there. And there we got our, we got our hoods, we got our sides of town. Me and people like, where are you from? Like, I'm born and raised for the most part outside of going to Fort Worth for a couple of years on the west side. Going from west side, West Tyler, right in Butler College, White City. You know what I'm saying? Grandma stay in BC in Butler College. I'm cross street from White City. Grandpa stay in Butler College. Homeboys from little hood called St. Louis. And that's just kind of where we was from. And people there, they bang, but not to the magnitude of even like an Omaha. And that's not to shame anybody. It's like we weren't big on gunplay. It wasn't our thing like that. So when somebody got hit, it was a big deal. I know I had 2 homies that got killed. And it wasn't even, neither one was directly from like that lifestyle. It's just one got hit at a party, R.I.P. Felix. And one got hit, I think somebody said he was talking trash and they ran up on him at a gas station. You know what I'm saying? After a concert, I believe. R.I.P. my boy Chris. And so we didn't have it's not like Omaha where it was really that type of city, that type of static. Like back home, you gotta have some hands. That's what you better have, some hands about yourself. Cause it's down south. Hey, knuckle up. What's up? And after school, I went to Stewart. We got a school right on the hills, train tracks. Literally, meet me on the train tracks. Whole school after school, go up to the train track, niggas knuckling up. So that's, that type of thing was what we going on. Homies, we got our hood homies, bro. It just was not to the magnitude of a bigger city. So like being here in Omaha for the last 8 years, I got to see firsthand. Some of it by choice, because I tell people you got to be about what you talk about. Ain't no way I can be here with my job, talk about what can we do for the hood, it's in the neighborhood, knowing that one of the biggest deterrents in the neighborhood is not enough economics in the neighborhood to turn it. The best way you can turn economics in the neighborhood is to live there. And you know me. Leo said, bro, you done been like in every hood. You done lived down there in every hood, like some of the prominent hoods. And if you in Omaha, I'll tell you where I stayed. The first hood I probably was in, I was right off 40th Ave. I was on 40th Street and I think Pratt. Right there. Around the block from the corner store where it used to be a hot spot. And if you from 40th, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Stayed over there for a little change, almost 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. Moved to Highlander. We used to be Hilltop. As soon as Highlander got built, Hilltop got active again. It's crazy. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Over on 40th, I seen my first drive-by. Across it, like I'm getting groceries and the dude hanging out the car shooting at my neighbors, bro. Hanging out the car shooting at across the street from me. I just stand up looking like damn, there ain't no fireworks. That's loud. I look back. I'm like, this is wild.
Man.
I'm over at I'm at 75. They gonna get mad at this one. Look, I don't care. Right. Ain't nowhere I stay. Hey, so I was in there. I go out. I heard Papa. I'll go outside. Like I see homies shooting at the dude at the apartment building next to me. It's just shooting. And I'm concerned because the little kids be out here playing. They was just out here. So I go to my house. Guess where these fools who was just capping roll into? Apartment across from me. So now I'm like, do I be the stand-up citizen or do I be I was like, man, do I knock on these niggas? I was heated because I'm like, you know what? They might not be in a good headspace. Let me let them cool off. I told the homegirl who was living there, I was like, man, what's up, man? What is you doing? Say, no, man, they ain't never supposed to come back. They can't come back over here. I'm like, listen, they was looking for y'all. They was looking for them. Ain't nobody say nothing. But if they come back, I'll talk to them. They ain't come back. Because she was like, nah, they finna get her ass kicked out. And then I seen another one. Man, it's been crazy. I seen all the action over there. It's her to do pop, pop, pop. See him run across the field. And I'm like, I'm just watching. He kind of like slow as hell too. Trying to get to the getaway car right by my truck and shit. So I'm like just looking. So I had to go check the field, make sure when nobody laid out. Turns out somebody did get hit in the car. I think they was robbing them for they little stash. I'm like, man. I'm like, Omaha crazy. Yeah. Then I moved kind of close to Park Lane. Shout out Lane Gang. So it's been an interesting. Now I'm over here. I'm like, oh man, we got us a house, and then next thing you know, incident across the street. I'm laying down. I look out my window and see the cars, and like we can laugh about the scenarios, the comedy in the scenarios, and understand that none of it is comedy. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And for somebody that's been here, that's sat in meetings, that's been out and talked to some of these cats, that's been at the alternative school and worked with some of these cats, that's literally jumped in fights and broke them up. We got to start to wonder, and the overarching question is, what are we doing? I know what they doing, but everybody that talk about caring, what we doing? What we doing? And I say that because some of these actions come out in where our money goes and who we support, and what our efforts are. Like, for those who don't understand hip hop, we have the genre where we aren't afforded the luxury of telling stories that ain't ours. We almost got to tell the truth to prove that you're an MC.
That part.
For the most part. We know we got you want to call it fraudulent capping, whatever, welling if you're from DC, whatever. But most people, it's a way out of that situation. On a big scale, it's a way out of that situation. I don't think it's that on the smaller scale. And it's hard the desire for some of us that see it, that know that they can do something with that vehicle. How do we make any headway into that? And I struggle often with because again, I ain't from that life.
Mm.
Could have been in it. As all of us, we all got offers, one way or another. We only was one decision away. Don't get it twisted.
That part.
And if you wasn't, you lived to be blessed with the life that you had. We was all a decision away. Luckily, I had my mama in my ear. Made me say the same thing before I left the house every time. Made me realize that, hey, you know, if you're gonna get out of there, you're gonna get out there on the field in them grades, go and do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I had parental backing in that. You know, I had neighborhood backing in that, and my church family, you know what I'm saying? I got little cousins. Little cousin in the league right now. Used to play. I said, hey, look, Greg Ward, Eagles. Look, Greg. He's like, I want to be like you. I said, don't be like me. Be better than me. He showed better than me. He in the league. And so I took that as a part of who I was, to have to be it ain't even a role model. It's just a model for you to have a role over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just the person. Like, you can mold yourself in accordance with, or see where I'm striving at, and see my mistakes and keep it moving from there. But man, bro, when I say I struggle here, and I think I struggle more not from the people that's doing it, but from the people that say they care about it, that don't do nothing about it. That's why it's hard for me to play certain music. I know where it comes from. I know of what space that person was in, and a lot of times I know what they saying. They in that. So it hits different for me. It's not just a cool ass bop, my nigga. You get what I'm saying? It's not a cool ass bop to me, and that's no slight to them. They putting their pain, their story in the rhymes as a way to try to get out and away from that pain and that struggle. But if we only seeing it as music and ain't helping cultivate nothing else, then what else they gonna do? You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I do.
I'm trying not to speak in too much code, but I want us to get to a place where we take this shit a little serious, and it's hard for us to take it serious when we don't own it. I love seeing Yo Gotti. You know what I'm saying? Yo Gotti a businessman. Yo Gotti did what he had to do. I love seeing the Jay-Z's. I love seeing the Top Dogs. I know where they came from. But they flipped the business into a business. You know what I'm saying? And they really trying to show and do something else. But that also mean, don't get it twisted, they know how to do business on all levels. So I want us out here, if you in my position, you ain't been there, especially if you ain't been there, don't spend your time preaching. Especially preaching when you ain't in their face. If you're going to preach, step to them. That's the least you could do. But don't spend your time preaching. See how, in which ways you are contributing to that lifestyle. I want it to be just music. I can't wait till we get to a place where we just telling old stories and relics and making that shit up. That's where I want to get to. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it. I don't want that to be real, bro. And it is, nigga, I'm on a hell of a monologue. That shit sits with me, bro. When you have students who gotten killed, and when you removed, I don't got to be in it, but I ain't removed. These people we know, these people we teach, it's people in our families, it's people in my extended family. Like, if you ain't getting them calls at 3 a.m. telling you what's happening, and you watching your future and your current cousin-in-laws trying to make a decision on what to really go do about it, you won't understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Johnny, man, take this mic, bro. You take the mic,
man.
bro.
I'm just trying to let you come to a full head because I mean, it sounds like the overarching theme of what you're saying is the music real? Is it telling real stories, or is the music the story itself? Like it's almost one of those things where they ask, does art imitate life or does life imitate art?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of one of those things with the music where it comes a self-perpetuating cycle, especially when we look at the business side of everything. But, you know, as somebody from like yourself, who I dibbled and dabbled in the street life, right? Like I wasn't from a hood. I was born in the hood. It was different. And so like I was guilty by association. And, you know, I laughed earlier when you talked about your first drive-by that you heard, because I thought about the first time I heard a drive-by, the first time I seen a drive-by, and how full circle that full thing went, which the first person I ever witnessed do a drive-by is the same person I ended up having to shoot later. Like that's how shit come full circle.
Mm-hmm.
But I say all of that just to say, like yourself, you start to look at everything that's going on around you, and you can be reactive or you can be proactive. And that's when my music, my messaging, and all of that stuff started to change, is because I started understanding the power of what it was that I was talking about, thinking about, the music I was observing and all of that. And so it goes way beyond just being just music.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's cool to say it's just music, because it is just entertainment for people who just consuming the culture.
Mm.
It's not entertainment for people who live in the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like these stories of pain, agony, trauma, all of that different stuff is only entertainment when you're looking at this stuff from the eyes of a TV, from the consumer, from a consumption. But it's when it's a lived reality, when it's a lived experience, it hits just a little different. And so when you talked about the losing of students, because we done lost multiple students,
Mm-hmm.
I still think about one of the students who would come into our poetry classes when we was up at Blackburn, and they would come in during lunch period. And the student was quiet, but this student was one of the students who I knew was about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew he was about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the biggest mistakes you could ever make is, one, choosing to preach at these kids, and two, being in the vicinity of them and not listening to them and just talking at them. And so I say all of that to say that the responsibility falls on us to understand the importance of a culture and what elements make up culture, and how the music and all of these things can shift, change, direct, and alter culture. Music is a universal language.
Mm-hmm.
Babies understand it. Animals and plants understand it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a universal frequency and vibration that can be healing or it can be damaging.
Mm-hmm.
Just the shifting of 8 hertz.
Yep.
From 432 to 440 has shifted the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing how music has always been a part of the African oral tradition of storytelling, we have a responsibility to be mindful of what stories we are telling and projecting into our youth.
Mm. Yeah, man. It's we talk about the cycle, it always goes back to what they used to call the chicken or the egg. At what point is which one feeding which? And at what point do we come either scoop the eggs or snatch the chicken? Some gotta shift, because I'm not too upset at the stories, because the one thing they do, they give us insight on what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Music, the way in which we use our music, is always the storytelling and the ability to illuminate a picture from words, to project those. It's like projecting it on the screen. When you have that type of storytelling ability, I can understand and I can tell by your tone in which you're delivering it what you're trying to get out. But when you do that, who checking up on you? Some people say this shit is a cry for help. And I say, well, ain't no therapist listening. Because y'all ain't did nothing but just level them up monetarily. But what have we done as far as reconstruction of habits, morals, and the mindset? What are we doing with it? Who benefits from us not shifting and having that who benefits from us not shifting?
Every brand.
Every single brand. And it's every style of brand. Because right now it is our culture is cool. It is cool to be dramatic and traumatic. If you don't believe me, skip music, turn on the TV and find me something that's not dramatic or traumatic in black television. Even a black character in a white show. Find me one.
Man.
And that is the narrative. And you touched on it. You talked about it and said music gives you the ability to paint that narrative. So what we choosing to paint? And again, this ain't coming at the people who trying to get out and they literally telling their story. But if we ain't giving them another story to tell for us that know better and ain't doing better, that's on us.
Yes, sir.
That's on us.
And I, I was having this conversation earlier, and I was talking to my homegirl, and I was talking about, like the BS nature of the American dream, right? How, how when we grew up, because I am 30, when I grew up, we had the concept and ideology that you just gonna go to school, you're gonna graduate, you go to college.
Yep.
Everything will be figured out. And that's pretty much how the world worked. And that illusion of that dream gave us something to look forward to.
Yep.
And with the younger generation, they don't even have that.
Where is the different world for this generation?
And so when I do see the ones who find hope in the hopelessness and they hold on to that, I try to prop them up as much as possible, because it's a heavy time period that's going on out here.
In what regards?
Spiritually. I was telling my homie the other day, I said, shout out to the homie Shamari, I said, I don't know what's going on, but there's a heavy energy over the city right now, and it's a lot of doubt that's in that energy. Like there's a lot of imposter syndrome in that energy. There's a lot of inferiority complex in that energy. There's a lot of fear in that energy. And I'm seeing a lot of people who I know that's successful moving in that energy, and they not being their best self. And despite what people think or what it looks like, I've seen people like Kevin Gates come out and speak about not being in a good headspace.
Yep.
And I just seen, R.I.P. to the sister who just jumped off of her thing. But when you're on the outside looking in at somebody like that, that's beautiful like that, you assume that they don't have nothing going on. And so there is a heavy energy that's over our people, and there is no hope. What do we have to look forward to? And it's like, if we can't remember what it is that we're doing it for, we give up the will to keep fighting.
I think Moray came out and talked about this ain't what he signed up for. Like, I was doing the music and all this, I don't want to talk to y'all. I don't want to be doing all this extra. I will if you're going to pay me $300. But understand that ain't what I'm doing it for, and really thinking about getting out of it, getting out the game. Young in the music game. Talented, but getting out. Something's looming. Ari Lennox, again, talked about, I just want out of everything.
Yep.
And some of that may be some of the label obligations and all that, but there's still, for somebody to say, I want out of everything.
Right.
When in theory, we believe they're doing what they love.
Right.
What took the love out? Shh. And when you talk about having something to look forward to, I used to make the analogy like with athletics. I used to tell people, y'all want to know why, especially these black athletes, don't do that well in college? I said, their whole life they've been told their goal is to get to college. A whole life, because typically they come from a family where they may end up being the first generation. They got a talent. We believe college was the way out. Get to college, get to college, get to college. We got there. Now what? Well, you playing ball, but what's my target? I have not reshifted a goal. I accomplished my biggest goal. I got here. My mama said it. The church said it. My neighborhood said it. I'm here. So if I don't have another goal, all I'm going to do is skate by. And now I done wasted 4 to 5 years mentally. I done put my body on the line. If I'm lucky in that 1%, I'm going to go make some money doing this sport. If I'm not lucky in that 1%, what have I done to cultivate myself? Probably not much or nothing, because I didn't have a goal. I didn't understand that I needed to build on self. I didn't understand I needed to acquire skills. That's why you need something to look forward to. And we are just, it's hard to look out the window and see it. We've been preaching the same message. We talked about it briefly. I said we were fighting for voting rights with Brother Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King was here. Yes, and we still got a bill on the table for voting rights. So show me what we've been doing. What is my outlook? And again, if the people in it are telling their stories, the people out of it, what have you given them to rewrite? You ain't gave them a new pen. Because the hoods look the same or worse. Where's the development? Where's the investment? Where is it? And I'm speaking to all hood. Last time I checked, I ain't seen too much of no redevelopment. There's a couple of apartment complexes that get redone here and there. Then after a few years, that demographic shift anyways.
Yeah, man. And I will say shout out to the people, man, because I did grow up around some real dudes, man, who really was about that, man. So shout out to Dre Rash, man. He do remodel homes, and he is remodeling homes in the hood, and he making sure he putting people in them homes, that look like us. So shout out to people like that that's being proactive and, going about it. They not waiting on handouts. They not waiting on nobody. They making the way. always made a way, and they continue to. And I think that that's kind of some of the things that we got to understand is like knowing that we've always been in a kind of peculiar situation, but knowing that that's always cultivated greatness in our people.
Mm-hmm.
Like our back has always been against the wall, foot always been against the fire, but have done nothing but create Black excellence. And it's like, you know, the same pressure that bust pipes is the same pressure that make the water flow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, we're in a peculiar situation, but I think we have to embrace our situation so that it don't repeat. It's a very big difference between speaking from your scars and your wounds. And we still got a lot of healing to do as a culture to be able to speak from the wounds of slavery and not the scars of slavery or enslavement, you know? So it's like, it's a lot that has to happen. It's a lot that got to go down. But the one thing that we could never do, or the one thing I could never do, is give up hope after standing on the shoulder of 10,000 or standing on the shoulder of the ancestors who made the passage through the voyage through the Middle Passage. You get what I'm saying? I could never fold or wither standing on the shoulders of my other ancestors who was indigenous to this land that was already here. So, you know, just walking and standing on the shoulders of giants, bro. Maya Angelou once said that every storm runs out of rain.
And that's it. We present problems, but trust me, we know people that's working on solutions. And this is city to city. And it's right now it's about the magnification. Let's figure out how to magnify it. Let's be about what we say we want. Let's give them something else to talk about. They only can talk. You only talk about what you can.
That part.
Andre 3000 stopped rapping because he kind of said I lost inspiration because I ain't got nothing to talk about.
That part.
My life changed too much. It's just the inverse in the hood. I'm talking about what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of the potential is crazy, bro. But the potential is only gonna be tangible if we start to work collectively. We've discussed being a collective, and moving like that. This is why it's important to back the people who took this stuff, who hustled their way up and hustled their way out, but they still got that mentality. They understand it. They understand everything. They understood that they needed to get into legitimate other rooms. And I'm not talking figuratively rooms and tables. They knew that if I needed to be in this exec room at this label, I got to build my label up and I got to have a stable artist to get there. Now I'm running your streaming because these are my artists running it. What's up? Now I get to make some of these shots and calls, make some of these things. I'm also in there learning. I don't think all of them just playing this game just to be a part. I really don't. But they know it's going to take big money, big effort to get their own. And start for us to work with the other people and get our own. And it's going to start with one. It's going to start with one thing that we start. So then somebody under us can see, it's going to be a few under us that see like, oh, that's what they did. We can do that too. Pop, pop, pop. Now we went from 1 to 8.
Yep.
And it's going to move like that. I appreciate what, the world call out. Why the world always calling us crazy? Why the world always calling us crazy, bro? And here's the kicker about being crazy. The world ain't never progressed unless somebody crazy did it or said it.
That part.
That is progression.
That part.
Because they have to think outside of the norm.
That part.
So the crazies, whatever you want to call them, are very much needed. They're the ones who keep society churning and innovating. So let people have these crazy ideas and execute them and try things. Because it may be working. Just because you can't see it. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways.
Nah, man. I think you hitting on something, man. And there's another quote that I love, man, that says, whenever you find yourself on the side of the masses, you have to stop and reevaluate. Whenever you find yourself following the masses, you have to stop and reevaluate. And I can't remember who said that, but it's We just got to remember that, man, that
Yeah.
sometimes to truly be innovative, you have to be prepared to walk alone.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we don't understand what that looks like. You know, Moses had to go on that mountaintop alone.
Yep.
I said that in this verse that ain't dropped yet. But man, it's a poetry piece, man. We'll figure it out. We'll see what's up, man. I think you know, it's just kind of a lot of things been alluded to as far as where I'm at. You know, when you talked about Andre 3000 or when you talked about other artists, I reached a point where, especially when consciousness, quote unquote, became a fad where people could fake wisdom by copying memes. I just kind of reached a point where I felt like I didn't have nothing to say. Or what I said would get drowned out in the voices of all the voices. But when you real and authentic and you true to self and you following your calling, people gonna hear the difference.
Yep.
And they gonna know the difference. And so like I battled with imposter syndrome. I battled with inferiority complex, and I battled with being afraid of my own success and what that would look like, because I'm actually as great as I think I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes we actually are as great as we think we are, and that scares us. And sometimes we're even better than what we think we are, and that scares us even more. And so I had to get comfortable with that. Sometimes when your light shines so brightly, you make people feel insecure when you're not even trying. So instead of me shining brighter, I had to learn how to make other people shine brighter so I don't feel so alone shining so brightly. Mm-hmm. And I say all of that to say that I'm finally at a point where I'm learning again, and I feel like I got stuff to talk about. Stuff that everybody don't got to talk about. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what that transpires into, if that's music, if that's poetry. Mm-hmm. But I'm still learning. Yes, sir.
Man, I gotta get into beat making for real. I'm gonna bring them out because I'm gonna make some stuff. Don't get it twisted. I'm gonna make some stuff. Taking you down. They're like, you heard what I was playing earlier. Stop playing with me. I'm gonna make some stuff, man. I got a secret weapon out there. You know what I'm saying?
Easy.
Yeah, man. You see the drum pad down there. You don't think soon as she can get a grip, just hand it to her. Mm-hmm. See what she do. I'm gonna let her try everything. See what you do. Mm-hmm. Man, it's heavy
episode, man.
But it's great to hear. And I mean, I'm a little curious, Johnny, since we don't walk this way in this convo. What were the tools, or what got you to realize not only that you were who you thought they were, who we thought they were, right? Dennis Green, but what got you to be able to finally feel free to express that and to walk in that?
I'm still learning. Mm-hmm. I'm still walking into that. I think it's in other people appreciating your value, and it's in just accepting it, man. Like I'm still walking in that, but it's been something I've been walking in for a while. And so it looks different. So it's just knowing that I don't have a choice, right? Like I kind of started writing a piece of poetry a couple weeks ago, and I don't really remember it because it was like a quick 30-second jot down. But it was basically, I said something along the lines of, a giant does nobody a service by playing it small. Like basically you were never meant to play it small. Giants were never meant to fit where termites crawl. So it's like understanding like what we're designed to do, what we're here to do. If you truly tap in and you truly understand self and the universe and the creator, truly comes onto you, your purpose get revealed to you. And when you know your true power, you know your purpose, you know what you're responsible for, you got a responsibility because you have the responsibility. Mm. You have the responsibility because you have the responsibility. You have the ability to respond to what's going on around you. So like those who know better have no choice but to show better. And that's why if you knew better, you do better. And when you know better, you show better. And so I know that I know better. And I ain't got no choice but to show. I don't got no choice but to show. Because at the end of the day, the creator, whatever you call him, whatever you believe, whatever, if you don't believe nothing, my self-righteousness, if you want to just put it down to self-righteousness, the creator will allow great punishment to come upon me for not living out my mission. And I'm afraid of that.
Mm.
Fear.
Yes, sir.
Fear is making me speak.
Yes.
Fear is respect.
Yes, sir. Man, it will be tested.
That part.
You know, you was with me when part of mine got tested. A real test.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And it always comes back because people will tell you, nah, you're a little different. Nah, you're a little, yeah, he cool, but you're a little different. It gets tested.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be prepared. You gotta be studied and ready to react. You gotta have practice in the field. This is why I love my street soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I know
Mm-hmm.
all these folks that just be talking. Hey man, I ain't never seen a society where so many of the philosophers think they was gonna be the warriors.
Psh. Psh.
That don't happen.
Mm-mm.
Y'all supposed to be the guiding and guide the principles. But y'all too busy playing games over here with the people who gonna shed blood.
Mm-hmm.
The street soldiers are needed.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta make sure they realize that they fighting the wrong war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not even just a test of faith, bro. It's a test of, are you prepared for what I prepared you for?
Mm.
Are you prepared for what I prepared you for?
Mm-hmm.
You done had the reps, you done had the practice. Here go one. Let's rock. And we gotta be prepared to really get there and do what we need to do,
mm-hmm.
and not worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
I know even personally I have certain gifts. Adaptability is one.
Mm.
You can't shake me.
Mm.
I'm cool wherever.
Mm.
In whatever.
Mm.
Shit slows down and I'm ready. I breathe. I start to, all right, here we go. Whatever this is, I'm finna get with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how the Creator, the Most High, puts you in those situations. And it's amazing your spirit is needed, and it's needed for the people that is needed for.
Mm-hmm.
Like your spirit, this is all borrowed. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed.
That part.
So something gave it to me,
mm-hmm.
and sometimes you got to disperse it out to literally save life.
Mm.
To speak it, but to literally save life sometimes.
Mm.
And we got to be prepared to move like that at all times. And that's in any endeavor. I tell people all the time, I don't worry about nothing.
Mm.
I don't know why I don't, but I also ain't questioning it. 'Cause that's a gift in itself.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that is a gift, because that don't come too often nowadays, because everybody's worried about something.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish we could get to the bottom of why is everybody worried about everything.
Mm.
Where is all this self-doubt coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Some of this stuff got to be connected.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't know why, we can at least find out what's causing yours and start the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't need too many more of these losses. Not in the way they happen. We need everybody present. Everybody ready to rock with they weapons, they tools. So, man.
Yeah, we'll be here another 20 if I go.
Yeah.
But,
say your little piece.
Man, I just want to tell my young brothers out there, my young sisters, just stay encouraged, man. Like, this life shit, you don't have to have it figured out by 22. You don't have to have it figured out by 15, because it's people who 50 that's just now figuring it out, and 60 reaching their peak. And I know that these terms and this stuff sound pretty loose and it sound vague. And 30 years sound like a very, 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 very long time. But on May 20th will be 13 years since I graduated high school, officially received my cap and gown. 13 years. And it went by in a blink of an eye. And I'm just now figuring out pieces of my life that I already had figured out when I was younger. And so I'm saying all of that to say that you know who you are. Trust and believe in yourself. In the world, I have no choice but to believe you too. So just stay encouraged. And even though we're in the midst of the storm, just know that that storm gonna run out of rain.
I say, you ain't gotta be what the world tells you.
Imagine if you never heard the word failure.
What would you be?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Shout out to Light Pole, man.
Man, this is, I swear I just be wanting to keep going sometimes, but we got to say some little bit. But yeah, man, my people, be you. Just like Reggie put on that side of that, I think it was on LP's mural, be you to full.
That part.
Be you to full, to the fullest.
That part.
And walk in and stop worrying about all the XX noise. Stop worrying about how you need to call yourself, what you define, you don't need to. You just need to understand yourself. What it is that you do. I told y'all I'm not nothing no more. I just know the things that I do. And I execute those things. And that allows me to be able to shift when needed. It allows me to grow a new skill and allows me to shed old ones. Be what you are doing. Be about what you're doing. And keep walking in that. And for especially my young brothers and sisters out here, hey, get out the situation as best you can. Hopefully with as little damage as can. As little damage to the ones around you. And more importantly, as little damage to yourself. Because you're going to need all of yourself in this world. And just, man, be around people. Just start feeding yourself. Be mindful of your diet. So even if you make a certain thing, it's okay to intake some other things. And that means your diet being literally the food, your consumption, but also your ears, your mind. What you see, what you read, change it. Be careful with the algorithm. It's tailored to your likes. So unless you change your likes, you're going to get fed the same thing. Be careful with the algorithm. You are now just an algorithm. Be careful with it. So start looking up random things just to shift it, just to expand it. If something pop up in your head, just type it in just to expand yourself, just to confuse it. Or else you're going to be fed the same thing.
He not lying.
If you don't believe me, go to your YouTube. It's everything that's off a suggestion that you've already made. So be very diligent in that. And be around some other things. Just experiment. Find out who you are. See what you like. Yeah, man. Sheesh. Man, so let's that's it for today. Y'all know where to find us, man. All links in the bio. Just hit a link. Hit us up. We still on the race to 100.
That part, man.
We ain't gonna leave y'all alone.
Nah, that part, man. We still out here. And then once y'all get us past that 100 and we start inching up, we still got them slides.
They right here.
Y'all thought we still got them slides that we giving away, so we out here, man.
These is real.
We ain't playing.
Opened the box.
That part.
They in here.
They in there.
Ain't nobody touched them.
Nobody.
I guess when we start doing interviews, we might have to hide these hoes.
Man, shit, for somebody trying to get us. But
they here.
Yeah, we on that.
These away.
We on that road to 100, but we out here, man. Just stay posted, stay tuned in, man. So till next time, man.
Sure.
Peace.
Peace out.
The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast.